Alright, for step 1, I will show you how to set up tripod on both the total station and the prism for the back side. First, you have to open all 3 legs. Align it carefully with the nail below. Then, carefully lift this up to your chest level, depending on your height. So I recommend you just use it, to measure the height within your chest level. Then you lock all 3 legs like this. Pause. Next, you grab your total station here, the GM52, into the tripod. After that, once you're there, place it carefully within all the 3 legs, aligned with the tripod base here. Soon after that, underneath here there will be a screw. So align it carefully with the locking screw here underneath here. Turn it counterclockwise and it will lock. Then you will have to shake it a bit to make sure that it is securely into place. Once secure, next you want to align the nail underneath here to the optical side over here. I will align it carefully. To the nail over there. Once you're done aligning, then we have to move to the circular bubble here. Make sure it's evenly leveled to the ground, and also make sure it's not moved from the nail here. To do that, you have to place just like the tri-base system on the GPS. There will be X and Y axis. To do that, for the GM52, there will be other things that you have to consider. For the next step, grab the Topcon certified battery series for the GM52 and insert it like this. Open the tab over here. Then you have to align with the hole here with the connector over there. Push it like this, above, and then push it down. Then it will stay secure. Then you lock this piece up. Once you're done, turn the total station on like this by pressing it for about 3 seconds and then release it. Once you're here, the total station will show its own digital tilt e-bubble. In order to calibrate it, you have to place this screw here on the x-axis. Then on the y, there will be on the y-axis over here. So place 2 screws over here on the x-axis, and then turn the total station sideways on the y-axis to place the screw right over here. Let me show you the example on how to do it. On the x-axis here, you see this Y angle here? That's where you're going to create a bubble. Then swipe left and move to the x-axis. Then you have to check on the x-axis again. Wait for a moment and it will give. So we adjust it. Once it's stabilized, the x and y axis should be looking around like this, 0.01 second, and the y axis on 0.02 second, like that. Both on the same on the x and y axis. Once stabilized, then you can move on to the next thing, which is setting up the prism. Stop. Once you're done with the Topcon Total Station GM52 setup, next you have to do the back side for the setup for the total station. The back side is for the reference coordinate for the known point here. For your own coordinates for a Topcon Total Station. For example, I will place it over here. To do that, same procedure as ever. Just level this thing up. Off the leg here. Open it up. And secure it to the leg. Once you're done, it should be looking like this. Secure the tri-mesh into the place by screwing here. Then, it should be alright. Next, what you want to do is to look out at the same nail, just like the total station, and the flat and the circular bubble, just as always.